And if China is working on its naval supremacy goals, how can India be far behind? India also is boosting its naval might. It plans to add 160 warships by the year 2030. And while India flexes its maritime muscle by addressing security concerns in the high seas, more friendly nations want to sell their submarines to India. Germany has presented a government-to-government proposal for the sale of 6 advanced conventional submarines to India. This is for the Indian Navy's P-75I procurement program. And according to reports, a senior German delegation was in New Delhi recently to take the talks forward. Reportedly, the talks happened 2 weeks ago. The race for the deal, which is expected to cost upwards of 45,000 crore rupees, is between Germany and Spain. But reports say that the process has been considerably delayed. In June 2023, India and Germany discussed the deal at the highest level. This was during the visit of the German Defense Minister, Boris Pistorius. And during his talks with the Indian Defense Minister, Rajnath Singh, Pistorius had made a strong pitch for the German shipbuilding company, ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems. He had said that the submarine deal could become a flagship project between the two sides. Technically, only Germany and Spain meet the criteria to submit bids under the P-75I deadline. India's Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, along with Larsen & Toubro Limited, have been shortlisted to partner with foreign submarine manufacturers to make 6 advanced conventional submarines in India. This will be under a technology transfer. Both the bids have since been submitted and are currently being evaluated. The talks have been stalled over export clearances, but if the deal does go through, we are talking about a deal for 6 submarines that could be a significant boost for the Indian Navy, considering the role that India plays in the Indo-Pacific region. Germany's interest in arming India is in line with the role that Europe seeks to play in the Indo-Pacific. Partnering and helping boost India's naval might is in the strategic interest of like-minded countries in the region. It's because India can ensure free navigation, free trading routes, and fulfill its role as the net security provider in the high seas here. Before we end the segment, by the way, we want to leave you with where countries actually stand in this era of global sea power. As of the year 2024, the US leads the world in naval might, followed by China, Russia, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, and then India. France ranking number 8 on the chart, followed by the Royal British Navy, and Turkey taking rank number 10. And our next story is about the resurrection of ISIS. It seems the group's operations have received a big boost amid Israel's ongoing war with Hamas. You see, the warnings have been there, the evidence has been there. On Sunday came the ultimate clincher. There was a terror attack in Turkey. A church was targeted in Istanbul. 2 gunmen stormed the church, turning the morning mass into a scene of terror. The shooting happened at around 11:40 a.m. local time. The lone victim of the attack happened to be a Muslim, which is ironic because the attack was carried out by the ISIS. Yes, the Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack. In a statement issued late on Sunday, the group said, and I'm quoting, "We attacked a gathering of Christian infidels during their polytheistic ceremony at the Santa Maria Church in Istanbul's Büyükdere neighborhood on Sunday." The claim of responsibility was posted on Amak, the group's media arm, along with photographs of 2 masked men with guns, whom it identified as the attackers. The attack has sent out shock waves across Turkey. Turkish authorities say they have sprung into action. The 2 men behind the attack have been arrested. One of the suspects is from Tajikistan, the other from Russia. Immediately after the attack, Turkish police raided 30 locations and detained a total of 47 people. All of them are said to be linked to the ISIS. This is what the Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya had to say about the attacks. Let me quote, "We will never tolerate those who try to disturb the peace of our country, terrorists, their collaborators, national and international criminal groups, and those who target our unity and solidarity." This is not the first time Turkey has made such arrests. On the 3rd of January, it had arrested 25 suspected Islamic State members. They were accused of planning to attack churches and synagogues. And a few days before this, in December, Turkish authorities arrested 189 people. They were all suspected of having ties with the ISIS. The arrests took place simultaneously in 37 provinces. So the arrests and the detentions have been underway for quite some time now, but Turkish authorities did not expect an attack to take place despite its efforts. And this has raised questions on the capabilities of the ISIS in the present day. How strong has it actually become? Well, the head of the United States-led coalition fighting the Islamic State says that the group's operations across West Asia have become quite extensive. The warning has been issued by Major General Joel Wawel. He leads Operation Inherent Resolve, the mission against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. He says there has been a 200% increase in suspected attacks by the group in the past 3 months. What is the reason behind this? Well, it's because anti-ISIS groups that were fighting ISIS, have shifted their attention away to dealing with Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. They are busy deterring strikes by these groups across West Asia, and this has given the ISIS a chance to regroup. This is what the general had to say about this. The strikes have forced counter-ISIS troops to focus on defense. All that focus has allowed, at the tactical level, ISIS cells to start doing more things. We have seen an uptick in attacks in Syria and Iraq in the last 60 days in particular. What we are concerned about is the ISIS fighters in detention. If they get a prison breakout, they build an army overnight again. At least that's their desire. So clearly the threat from the ISIS has grown amid the Israel-Hamas war. The attack on a church in Turkey should serve as a wake-up call for the leaders of West Asia. India has become the new security provider in the Arabian Sea. In a series of dramatic actions, displaying courage and exemplary calm, over the past fortnight, the Indian Navy has saved Indian lives, protected Indian interests in the midst of a raging war, and in humanitarian outreach, even saved Pakistanis from pirates in the world's most dangerous high seas. On the 29th of January, Somali pirates had hijacked a fishing vessel, Al Naimi. The vessel was sailing under the flag of Iran. The crew, Pakistani. 11 pirates boarded the ship. They took the crew hostage. There were 19 Pakistani nationals on board. INS Sumitra pressed into action. It located the hijacked vessel, intercepted it. The Indian Navy commandos coerced the pirates into releasing the crew and the vessel. And just before this rescue operation, the Indian Navy had saved another ship. The Somali pirates had hijacked another Iranian fishing vessel, FV Iman. There were 17 fishermen on board. Somali pirates boarded this ship along the east coast of Somalia. The crew was taken hostage. The distressed ship sent out an SOS message. The Indian Navy responded. ALH Dhruv choppers on board INS Sumitra encircled the hijacked vessel. Indian commandos issued a warning to the pirates. The armed pirates fled. Indian Navy commandos then sanitized the hijacked vessel, following which it sent sail for onward transit. Something happened on the 27th of January, but did not come to light until this evening. A Sri Lankan fishing vessel named Lorenzo Putha was hijacked near the coast of Somalia. 3 pirates boarded the ship. The Indian Navy deployed INS Sharada. It also tasked Hail Sea Guardian to locate and intercept the hijacked ship. The defense forces of Seychelles and the Sri Lankan Navy joined the operation, and in collaboration with them, the Indian Navy ensured that the 6 crew members on board the fishing vessel were freed. The pirates surrendered, and the vessel was released. It's not just anti-piracy operations. The Indian Navy has also been rescuing vessels from Houthi attacks at sea. Over the weekend, Houthis attacked a British oil tanker in the Gulf of Aden. MV Marlin Luanda had caught fire. There were 23 crew members on board. Of them, 22 were Indians. There was also a Bangladeshi national on board. INS Vishakhapatnam rushed to the site. 10 Indian personnel boarded the burning vessel with firefighting equipment. They helped douse the flame. In a video, Captain Abhilash Rawat, the master of MV Marlin Luanda, thanked the Indian Navy. And there's more. In the first week of January, a Liberian-flagged vessel, MV Lila Norfolk, was in distress. The ship was carrying cargo from Brazil to Bahrain. There were 21 crew members on board, including 15 Indians. 5 to 6 armed men tried to hijack the vessel. The ship sent out a distress message. The Indian Navy responded. The pirates fled the ship. The Indian Navy's Marcos commandos boarded the hijacked ship, sanitized it, and rescued the distressed crew. On the 23rd of December, another Liberian-flagged vessel was attacked. MV Kem Pluto was hit by a drone while it was on its way to Mangalore, India, from Jubail, Saudi Arabia. The ship caught fire. India came to its rescue. A Navy aircraft, a warship, and a Coast Guard ship were diverted to help the distressed ship. The tanker was then safely escorted to Mumbai. This, you see, has become the new normal. Somali pirates hijack a ship. India goes and rescues the crew. The Houthis hit a ship. India goes and helps the distressed crew. The Indian Navy is responding to distress calls across the Arabian Sea. Be it in the east coast of Somalia, in the Gulf of Aden, India is helping vessels, irrespective of the flag that they are sailing under, irrespective of where the ship is bound to, or what the nationalities of the crew are. Just tell me one thing. What are the other navies in the region doing? Why are they not coming to the aid of the distressed ships? Are they not capable enough? Where is China? Chinese ships are sailing around the world carrying out so-called research. But PLA Navy ships have been missing from the scenes of crises. Just look at where these piracy operations are taking place. Off the coast of Somalia, which is the country north of Somalia, Djibouti. China has a port there. See the Dorale multi-purpose port in Djibouti. Chinese Navy is stationed here. China also, by the way, has an army support base in Djibouti. Why are Chinese ships in this port not responding to distress calls? When a ship sends out an SOS message, the message is relayed to all the ships in the region, all, irrespective of which ship flag they are sailing under, whether they are fishing vessels, merchant vessels, Coast Guard ships, or warships. So I am assuming the distress calls of the Iranian vessels also were relayed to Chinese ships in Djibouti. Why didn't they respond? Why didn't China help the Pakistani crew aboard a hijacked Iranian ship? China is supposed to be Pakistan's all-weather ally, remember. Iran is supposed to be Beijing's new best friend, and China is a self-proclaimed naval power. It also has an Arabian Sea port in Pakistan's Gwadar. So what really happened? Well, guess what? PLA Navy ships have been ignoring SOS calls for a while now. In November, a Liberian-flagged commercial ship was hijacked by Somali pirates in the Gulf of Aden. The ship, called Central Park, sent out a distress signal. There were at least 3 Chinese PLA Navy ships in the area. All of these ships ignored the distress call. They simply chose to not respond. What do you think the international law says? If there is a ship crying out for help, sending out a distress signal, all vessels in the vicinity should come and help. Let me just read out what the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea states. The master of a ship at sea, on receiving a signal from any source that a ship or aircraft or survival craft thereof is in distress, is bound to proceed with all speed to the assistance of the persons in distress, informing them, if possible, that he is doing so, quote unquote. You know what? The Chinese alone are not guilty of not helping distressed vessels. Guess who else has a base in Djibouti? The United States of America. This is Camp Lemonnier. It is the U.S. naval base in Djibouti. Are we to believe no American ship was at this port to help out the ships hijacked by Somali pirates? The United States is leading a task force in the troubled waters. Where does this great Western armada vanish when ships actually need help? What happens to their commitment to towards ensuring the safety of the ships? The U.S. Navy's Carrier Strike Group 2 is in the region. It includes USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, USS Gravely, USS Laboon, USS Mason. British destroyer HMS Diamond is in the region. Canadian armed forces have deployments in the Red Sea, Bab el-Mandeb, and the Gulf of Aden, as does Denmark. These countries are supposed to be conducting joint patrols. This map gives you an idea of the military deployment at sea. Navy ships are marked in blue. Just look at how many of these arrows you see near Somalia or in the Arabian Sea. These are just a fraction of the total deployment, like we will show you, as most military ships have their tracking devices turned off. My point is, all of these ships, and yet somehow it is only the Indian Navy that is stepping in each time to rescue the distressed vessels. And I can't help but ask once again, are the other navies not capable enough? Indian commandos are risking their lives to save Pakistanis at sea, to save Iranian fishermen, to save burning British ships, Liberian flagged ships. India is carrying out these daring missions without flexing its muscle, with zero vested interests, without high-handedness. The Indian Navy is following the protocol, acting as per the established SOPs. Time and again, India is proving to be the only reliable security provider in the Arabian Sea.